Okay, so welcome back, folks, to Patrician form. We've obtained the rank of wholesaler now, so we should be able to join the various different guilds inside other settlements that are not Lubeck. So, inside this episode, I guess we'll be able to do a little bit of expanding our network here. So, once more, I'm just going to load up our ship here. By the way, oh, yeah, we finished building that smaller vessel, the Sanaka, and well, now we have two shippings, we're two merchant ships, which are part of one merchant fleet here. And with this merchant fleet, we will go back to Stockholm this time, and we are just going to sell off the holds of this ship, which is currently some hemp, some salt, and quite a few of these metal goods or metal tools that I've actually been hoarding inside Lubeck, simply because those are actually also fairly profitable. So let's get rid of all of our stockpile for those. Metal goods are a little harder to sell off. I mean, they do occasionally sell off, but they are fairly expensive to just kind of move around and sell, but usually they have decent margins. So now that we're here, we can actually set up a merchant or a counting house here, just like the one that we have on the other city. It looks like we're going to have to get our reputation up to be able to buy the guild membership, and from there we should be able to get the counting house permit. So right now we have 9 reputation inside Stockholm, and we're just going to be boosting that by donating to the local church. And every single donation I make should give us 1 point. So we managed to get that up to 20, but it looks like it's going to take a little bit before we can donate again. So we're just going to get another convoy from Lubeck to Stockholm, because it does also make quite a little bit of reputation every time you trade. There's really just nothing to bring back from Stockholm that's worth it in the short term here, simply because we're probably going to be automating a lot of our trades. And with that said, I don't want to spend a lot of time just kind of going through the towns and manually selling off like fish and whatnot. Over here, what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to sell off some of these metal goods or metal tools, and I'll actually get a separate boat to run those goods for us. Let's come back over here, sell off some more goods over here, and let's just go to Stockholm and sell off the hemp and the salt, which will hopefully boost our little reputation up to the required amount. So 23%, we should be able to donate once again.
I see you are helping me develop my city. Keep up the good work.
And that person is the head of the guild. Oh, reputation dropped. Yeah, your reputation drops if you're not if you don't solidify it, like by getting one of these permits, which is rather unfortunate. So now that we've gotten a guild entry here, we are able to build a counting house and a regular house in Stockholm. Later on, we'll be able to get a production facility, and we'll be actually able to buy this regional goods permit later on too, which is essentially a 5th resource. Every single city produces 5 different resources here, so I believe 3 or 4 of them you can produce inside the city, and 1 that you have to do somewhere else. With that said, I mean, let's just go to the architect here, and let's get our counting house built. It's gonna cost us
You're
17
commissioning
grand.
a counting house? For your own sake, you should leave it at that.
Yeah, and the people inside the city don't get very happy if you start building production facilities. They actually get really, really angry, simply because they kind of claim it as themselves, and you do get into some little fights because of that. So, because we built the counting house here, we could also build a warehouse, which will give us a little bit more space. But inside this place, we don't actually need we don't need to store a large amount of things. So I think we'll just go back to Lubeck. Random events inside the game will happen, and it looks like Lubeck is under siege, unfortunately.
This
I wonder
city
if it does
is
anything
currently
to
suffering from a specific event. This could be the outbreak of a pestilence or a plague of rats, for example.
No.
The event is indicated by a symbol above the town hall. You can find out what effect the event has by moving the mouse pointer over the town hall.
So anyways, yeah, Lubeck is being sieged right now, and I believe what that does is that it affects the trade window here. It makes it a little, I believe it makes it a little harder to produce goods or something like that, and I think the price of certain goods like food actually goes up. Another city that I found really good to sell like a lot of our salt in is Aalborg over here, which takes it just by the bucket load essentially. So we're going to be dumping quite a lot of salt there as well. Oh, I should have probably checked the market here because we do need places that take in a lot of like metal tools, which is the third thing that I'm stocking up here. Hopefully we find a city here that takes a good amount. They need some hemp over here, but no metal tools, unfortunately. What do they need here? No metal tools. Yeah, they actually produce more metal tools than they need. So we're just going to get our ship to go back into Lubeck, and now let's set up a automatic trade route. So we're going to get our fleet here. We're going to do new trade route, and that'll give us this map here. We have two counting houses, so we set up the route like that, and then now we had to set up the little things here. So first and foremost, the top layer here essentially just tells us you know, basic management settings and basic repair settings. Your ships do take damage over time, so it's fairly useful to just kind of repair them. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to add salt and hemp to the bottom little list here, and I'm going to get the AI to load it from our warehouse, and it's going to load, I would say, about 450 units of salt, because we do produce a lot of that, and it's going to produce 250. Let's see, that will be yeah, that's pretty much, that'll fill up our tank. But I'm a little worried that we did we produce salt here? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do produce a lot of salt. Why does it say that we're not? It's a little strange, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, it should be fine. So we're going to do that. That's going to essentially load those things up into our cargo hold, and then once we go to Stockholm, oh, that's right. Whoops, wrong settings. Just had to bring these over here. Put them down right here, just like that. So same thing, just a different place. 450, 250, so that'll load those goods there. Then we're just going to go back to Stockholm, and then we're just going to put those goods right there, and we're going to unload them into the counting house at Stockholm. So with that said, we're just going to automate the trade route, just like that. So this ship will go there and come back, and essentially just load things up at Lubeck, and then drop them off there. Load, damn it. I did get the counter numbers right this time, but I got them in the wrong place script. So let's go over here to load and do that. Oops. Damn these spreadsheets. Yeah, so now it should be fixed. So now just get them to automate it, and then it should do essentially what we've been doing. On the Stockholm end of things, let's just check the prices for the various different goods. So hemp usually goes for 66 when they have none of it, and salt goes to 115, again once they have none of it. We're just going to hire another administrator here and get them to sell salt and hemp, and then we just put the prices at say 60 and 100 here, or yeah, 100 here. And that will essentially automate the process. Our boat here is just going to go up. Right now it has, yeah, all the required goods inside its hold. It's going to drop those off there, yeah, and then it's going to leave, and then our trading house here is going to sell it by itself. So, yeah, so as you can see here, the counting house is making quite a little bit of money because of our one fleet doing that. Our fleet should be able to essentially just sustain that, which is good. But because it can sustain that, I'm actually going to get the one of the little ships out of the fleet. So I'm going to come over here and get this ship to come out. Actually, I'll just let both of them run. And we will build another little ship here. So our ship is going to be constructed on the 31st, or finished on the 31st, on essentially Christmas, or actually New Year's Day. And oh, the shipyard's out of wood, so it's probably not going to be building those ships until somebody can bring wood to it. And I assume one of the AI factions is going to do that, so all we had to do is essentially just wait that out. And well, now that we have a successful trade lane, we can just kind of manipulate things by a little bit, you know, make a few adjustments here and there so that we're not overloading Stockholm with goods, nor are we you know, putting too much demand on Lübeck. So now that we have one of these goods set up, I have a feeling that we're going to need a lot more ability to hold salt and our trade goods, right? So we're going to go to Lübeck, and because we are already a member of the guild here, we are able to build counting houses and warehouses. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to buy 2 warehouses. The game does give you quite a lot of area inside the cities to build things, and it has this nice little like boardwalk area just set out with no construction. So we're going to be building 2 warehouses, giving us I think 1,000 storage each, which will make our job a lot easier. And let's just check on that construction. So that construction's underway. We are building a ship there. And I think it's actually time to buy another ship. So we're going to buy a cog this time, because I want to make another automated trade route. So I think I'll do that. Generally speaking, I mean, you can get most of the trade handled automatically and just do the important stuff, such as managing your guild relations, and later on managing the populace stuff like managing the towns when you get elected later on. So yeah. Let's see here. Are we overloading this place with salt? From the looks of it, no, we are not. Let's actually drop this down to 100, so then we'll sell a little bit more. And because it is winter, we get this nice little map change, which is rather nice. Let's see how the salt trade is going here. So that's actually going pretty well. I mean, we could push the amount of salt that we keep in reserve to 95 pieces, because we are hoarding an absolute ton of that. And that should just essentially continue business here. So, salt should be taken care of. They're producing a lot of fish inside this town, and we can actually kind of use that by buying a lot of fish and then getting it traded somewhere else. So, with that said, let's go in here and let's go to purchase of goods, purchase fish, and the maximum we are currently willing to pay for it is 12 gold, because we don't know what the prices are for it. So usually it goes for 154. And in Lübeck, what does fish go for? Short fish goes for 243. So let's come over here, come back here. So there's quite a large margin on it, so I guess we're going to be buying fish for about 175 pieces, and I think we'll keep about, say 300? No, less than that, 200 in reserve. Okay, so that's that. Now our first little boat here should be completed, assuming that, yeah, it's right there. So now we have a second little trading vessel that we can use for moving stuff. Let's actually move some more salt for the moment. So we're just going to build the convoy. That's going to set up another fleet. Another convoy, and we're just going to go back into our storage shed, pick up however much of the salt we can carry on this boat, and then go to Aalborg, because they also need salt. And just sell all of that off. Later on we'll be also able to automate selling salt in Aalborg, and it looks like Oslo is actually also needing salt. a lot of cities are needing salt right now. With that said, we should think about expanding a little further. Well, I'm going to do that next episode. Right now, we're just going to kind of leave off from here. I'm going to go back to Stockholm when our second cog finishes, and we should be able to set up another route between Lübeck and Aalborg. So, I'll see you then. For now, be sure to like the video and subscribe, of course. Bye-bye.